Hello, YouTube. How's everyone doing? Thank you to H2O No Bobbio for being so kind to mention me, share my channel on his page. So kind. Thank you to everyone who has been supportive of me up to this point. I'm just a guy who loves perfume. I think that's someone else's channel or another video. I think that's Jonathan's, a guy in his collection. But I'm just a guy that loves perfume. I love about anything manly, food, cars, horses, women, guns, knives. I have a couple of knives I want to check out here pretty soon, if my budget will let me. I really had to adjust to getting paid every 2 weeks. I'm used to getting paid every week, so if I want something, I just buy it. And now I have to wait, kind of, make sure everything's budgeted out correctly, so on and so forth. And I really haven't had time to do any side jobs, so I can't, make quick cash that easily as I used to be able to. But I've been on the train for, all week, going back and forth places, about a 12-hour, trip back and forth from terminal to terminal, transporting freight as a conductor. And I was working with a guy this past couple times, and, if he sees this, I could care less. If anyone shows it to him, I could care less. But man, he was just, so hard to work with. Him and another guy, and oddly enough, that they're pretty close friends, are the only two I've had issues out of so far being out here working for the railroad. The only two people, they're the only two people I've had trouble with. They're the only two I can really say anything negative about. So, take it as that. Just really hard to put up with. I understand that everyone gets tired, so you try to talk to keep yourself awake. But this guy was just on a whole other level, and honestly, it was very vexating to my spirit. It's very vexing to my soul, and I just told myself I'm not going to be on a train with him next time. I will call and have myself moved to another one, because it's not worth me being in a bad mood and smarting off to him, to be honest. Because it got to the point I just started, he was doing his thing, saying he's been out here longer and trying to, being entitled and being, very rude to a lot of the newer guys and saying certain things. So I just, kind of started smarting off back to him, and finally I think he kind of got the hint, to leave me alone. But it's not worth it, not worth your happiness. Just got done cleaning my Glock. That's my Glock 17 Gen 1. I prefer a lot of the earlier, I prefer older weapons, for older things, older perfumes, older vehicles, older boots, older everything, man. Just, they don't build them they don't build them how they used to, so to speak. And that's very true with perfumes. I saw the new Eau Noir. I haven't smelt it yet. I have the opportunity to buy a 250 ml original release date. I don't know if it had been reformulated after that, but original release, the first year that Eau Noir came out, I have the opportunity to buy one for a pretty good price. But I told someone else I would buy their fragrance first, so I'm gonna buy that one first. Keep to my word, and I do that. I might come off as a prick sometimes, an elitist, a douchebag, whatever you want to say. But, I do have morals, especially when it comes to buying things. There's been several times to where I've made a deal to buy something, and I either didn't have the money at the time, or, I decided I didn't want it, but I told that person I would buy it, so I bought it, just to keep my word. And you know, the thing I want to buy from this one guy, I still want it. So I guess the Eau Noir will just have to wait. But, you know, I feel like I just want to talk today. And I think that's, you know, very important for people to talk to like-minded people whom they get along with quite well. Because for the past 4 or 5 days, I've been with someone whom I couldn't talk to. You know, someone who was a very rude individual, very crude, that was very nasty. You know, that's one thing I cannot stand, is someone who is nasty. On these trips, we are provided with free room at hotels. We don't have to pay a dime. We don't have to pay for the water. So please, by all means, use the shower. Don't just, you know, throw on an extra coat of deodorant, because you will smell. Cutting your fingernails. You know, my fingernails are always cut. I have my little Coke fingernail right here. But, no, I'm just kidding. Like, I don't know, it's always been a habit, you know. But there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for not bringing an extra set of clothing, especially for how much money they're making. Brushing your teeth. You know, there's times to where I get lazy and I think to myself, you know, I'll just lay down. I'll brush my teeth in the morning. You know, we've all thought that before. And then, you know, I lay there in bed and I'm like, you know, it's not worth my health and for my teeth, you know. So let's go. I got up and, you know, I'd get up and brush my teeth, but there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for being a rude, crude human being, being entitled, being selfish, being blatantly rude, asking questions to entice and provoke someone. Dang, I felt like a vampire there for a second. To entice and provoke someone. There's no reason, and I'm off the subject now. It's just going to make me mad. But I'm going to be talking today, finally 7.5 minutes in, about a perfume. This is not a review. This is not anything like that. This is just me simply talking about a fragrance. A fragrance that really introduced me to the Dior, but not the Dior, but the designer exclusive / private lines and niche fragrances in general. And this is Dior Patchouli Imperial. I paid a little bit more for it than I was originally wanting to, but it was worth it because this is getting really hard to find. It's one of my favorites. I remember when I first got into the fragrance community that this was really something that not a lot of people were talking about, but it was highly regarded. And just look at that color. You know, I'm sure Dior uses, you know, food coloring or whatever, but still, I love when the fragrance is dark and colorful. I think everyone enjoys that, you know. Just a clear juice is kind of boring almost, but man, I think this is the most current formulation. I'm not sure. I'm sure Rudy or someone will double check on me. Has the C and the D together, has a CD here and the CD here. It probably is, but I really don't care. This still lasts 10-12 hours. And I remember the first time smelling this, I ordered from Scent Split, and I got a 5 ml of this and a 10 ml of Coral Mandel. And let me tell you something. It was the Coral Mandel EDT. And to this day, I am still trying to hunt down a Coral Mandel EDT that is not $1,000. If anyone knows anyone who has a Chanel Coral Mandel EDT that is pretty much full for under $500, let them know. I will make provision. I will sell my left nut to have that bottle, because when it comes to the Chanel Coral Mandel EDT, the EDT is 100% superior. It is sparkly off the skin, and I have a very distinct scent memory that I would love to resmell. And I'll talk about that someday. I might make a second video on that. But this is Patchouli Imperial. This was really my first introduction, besides Coral Mandel, to this whole side of perfumery, to the French side of perfumery, to the artistic, artisanal, high quality side of perfumery that no one was talking about save for Eugene and Christo. Now, when I first smelled this, I have an empty spot right here. Oh, sorry. My scent of the day, oh wow, that's an amazing scent, is Dries Van Noten by Frederic Malle. I know a lot of people don't like this. I absolutely love it. A sandalwood snickerdoodle gingerbread cookie with patchouli. And I love patchouli, in case you don't know. I love patchouli, but this is very special, and I love it. I'll probably be doing a review on this. This will probably be in one of my winter perfume videos, so just a heads up. And honestly, look how kind of similar they are. Just in, some similarities, but wow. An earthy, a dark earth, not a brown earth, but a black earth. A black, earthy, ambery, not chocolatey, but it's not chocolatey, but what is it? Nutty, not chocolatey, but nutty almost. A little bit herbal. Getting some lavender in here. So that nutty lavender, does this have lavender in it? I'm not really sure. Does it have maybe a little bit of iris in here too? I don't know. I'm really not much on notes anymore, honestly. I'm just really off of what I go by, what I smell off the scent. But man, it's been a while since I've smelled this. A little bit spicy. Yeah, a little bit spicy. I got some cinnamon in here. Does this have cinnamon? It has coumarin in it. That might be what it is. Coumarin, not cumin, but coumarin. Oh, this has limonol in it. Man, good perfume, good stuff. But the original, when I smelled this, no doubt the previous formulation or whatever. Excuse me while I hydrate. No doubt. This is, it was formulated, blah, 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 who cares. But when I first smelled this, it was the most butch, most raw, most... I don't want to use this word, but segregated from what I've smelled before. Because I smelled this before I wore Coromandel. This was a very segregated perfume. This was a very sacred... It's not really sacred now, but very special, sacred smelling, almost ceremonial. It was just a butch, raw patchouli. I was fascinated. I was like, man... I've never been able to experience, what it is. You smell something and you're like, that's what it is. I smelled this and I was like, that's patchouli. That's what I was smelling in a lot of these other fragrances. That's what they're talking about. This is what patchouli smells like when so-and-so describes it. That is what it smells like. It was really an eye-opener to me what notes were, what descriptions of fragrances were, what accords and notes and what's the other word I'm looking for? And it's what, the description of a fragrance was. It was tying a story to a perfume that has notes, that has water, that has alcohol, perfumer's alcohol, that has a perfumer, that has glass, that has a cap, that has a sprayer. It was really bringing everything together, such a broad perspective of things coming down and meeting together. And yeah, I don't know what this is. I think when I was staying at the hotel, I got bit by some bed bugs. I don't have bed bugs, so I've looked. I have our apartment is sprayed every 2 weeks. They hire someone to come around and spray on the inside of our apartment. So I don't know what it is, but anyways, it was the perfume coming together and experiencing and relating what a note was, what a scent memory was, what all these things that are coming together that have made me who I am today and who I was at the time, to a fragrance, something that you can put on your skin and smell. And to me, that was something very monumental, and that was something very, I don't want to say life-turning or life-altering, but it was something almost at a spiritual level that happened, that I realized that when I smell a fragrance, I'm smelling more than just scented water, as people call it. I'm smelling something important. I'm smelling something that is a time capsule, something that is relevant to the time and relevant to the past and relevant to the future. And I'll be 100% honest with you. If you were to tell me that this was a Dior fragrance that came out in the 1960s and was feminine, even though back then when I smelled it, it was very masculine, but looking at it now, if you were to tell me that this was a female fragrance that Dior made in the 1960s, 50s, 60s, that they recreated, I wouldn't question you one bit. I would probably agree with you. I find this actually to be pretty feminine. And my girlfriend does as well. She finds this to be pretty feminine. But nonetheless, I love it. Like a Loverboy song. Loving every minute of it. That's all I have today. I know I spent most of this video doing a rant. So on and so forth. But this is the fragrance that really got me into perfumery. The fragrance that really encapsulated me and brought me in and made me the perfume snob, elitist, douchebag that I am. But, it is what it is. I think that talking about perfume makes me happy. I might be doing a video on Coral Mandel, talking about an experience I had with it that was really made me step back and view things a little bit differently, I guess you could say. But nonetheless, I don't know what this is. I know someone's going to mention it. I think it is where I've been bitten by some bed bugs. It's just on this arm. I don't have bed bugs here at my apartment. Like I said, it's sprayed every week. I'm a very clean person. I'd be more than happy to show you around. But, man, I don't know what it is. It's not like a zit or anything like that. I've tried to pop a couple of them. They don't really itch, but I think they're bed bugs. I've washed everything. Today I went and got one of those little balm things, and I put it in my truck, and it's really cold outside, so if anything is out there, it's probably, dead now. I washed my backpack, my duffel bag. I have it sitting outside. It's like 32 degrees, so. Anyways, just a disclaimer, I'm not nasty, obviously. I take a shower twice, 3 times a day, brush my teeth twice, 3 times a day, wear perfume. Got clean balls. I wipe. I don't wipe front to back. I don't wipe back to front. I wipe both ways multiple times. Shout out to Kevin Samuels that told us that. But anyways, hope everyone has a great day.